You're trying to build your email list. I'm trying to build my email list. Let's get into it. How are you guys doing today? My name is Apple Crider and I run a social media management agency that brings in a full-time income for me while I am in college. And today what I want to share with you guys is the top 5 and actually 6. I'm going to throw in a bonus one at the end that is actually really valuable. But top 6, 5, whatever, lead magnets that you can use in order to build your email list, because building an email list is so essential, guys. So first off, why even bother building an email list? Well, I'll tell you why to build an email list. First of all, having an email list is just such a good business move in general, because it allows you to go deeper with people, okay? Because think about it. If you're out here, if you're making blogs, if you're making YouTube videos, if you're making podcasts, whatever, you can really connect with people through those means. But there's only so far you can go, especially like if you're on Instagram too. Like you can connect with people through your posts, but there's really only so far you can go. And if you want to take that relationship to another level, what you're gonna have to do is get more personal with that individual and really allow them to feel like you are talking one-on-one with them. And really the most scalable way to do that is to build an email list, because then what you can do is you can individually email everybody on your list with these emails that provide them with a ton of value and really build your credibility with them. And since you're doing it one-on-one, it feels a lot more personal to them. They can respond to your emails, you can reply back to them, and that's just really such an effective way to market. Obviously, email marketing, it was a lot more effective maybe like 10 years ago, but it still is a very effective way to sell things online, to build relationships with people online, and to build your following online, just because you can go deeper with people, and there's really so much potential there for you to eventually start marketing to people when you have some kind of product, service, whatever that you do want to start selling. Because think about it, if you have, say you have a course, and all you have is YouTube videos to promote that course with, people are gonna get pretty sick of you just like getting on the air and promoting your course and leaving, okay? People want value, but they also, they wanna know what you're up to, but it's a lot easier to do that when you're doing that in more of like a one-on-one interaction than when you're just like spewing it to the whole world, okay? So there's so much potential with an email list, and if you're planning on building any kind of online business, you really do need an email list in order to succeed. And emails can really be one of your most valuable assets, because that's something that you're always going to have, okay? Like if YouTube becomes no longer the dominant video platform, like the work that I've done to build up this YouTube audience might be partially neglected, probably not wholly neglected, but partially neglected, whereas this email list is forever, okay? So people are gonna be using email for the next, I'm gonna say at least 30 years. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say email is gonna be around for at least another 30 years. That's not gonna go away. So you can always contact these people, and you can always keep them in the loop with whatever you're doing, promote your services, whatever you're trying to do with this email list, it's always yours. And even if platforms shift, even if people move around, like you have that email list that is a valuable asset to you and your business. So that being said, what are some of the most valuable ways to get people's emails? Well, what you need to do is you need to have a lead magnet, okay? And basically what a lead magnet is it's a freebie that you give away in exchange for somebody's email. Now I have a lot of these myself because I do a lot of different things. Obviously, if you've seen any of my YouTube videos, I sort of bounce around a bit. So I have a lot of different lead magnets that put people on different segments of my list. So I'm gonna get into some of the best ways to capture people's emails and the best way to provide them with value in exchange for your email, because that's really what you have to do. You can't just ask for somebody's email. Like the days of saying, give me your email and I'll put you on my newsletter, those are pretty much out the door, guys. Like nobody wants to be on your newsletter. I hate to break it to you. Nobody wants to stay in the loop or like stay updated in exchange for email. They want something. You need to give them something in exchange for that email address. So the first thing, and I've incorporated this into I have two lead magnets that are online courses, okay? So a free course, I took the time to create 2 free video courses in exchange for people's email addresses. And the reason that an online course is such a valuable lead magnet is because you can really teach a lot via a video course. So both of these courses, I would say, are about an hour, maybe a little under an hour in length, and each of them has 3 videos included. So think about that. I'm giving 3 videos away. Like to make these courses, really, I mean, it took me at least like 10 hours to make each of these courses. So I'm giving away 10 hours of work and information in exchange for somebody's email address. That's a really valuable exchange, guys. Like, there's people who are selling courses less informational than the ones that I'm giving away for free for like $50, okay? So the value that you can give in an online course is very significant, and if you can give that course away for free, that's so big, and people are really gonna look up to that, because like I said, like you go on like Kajabi or something, there's people selling like 1 video courses for like $30. Like that just if you're giving that away for free, that's just an absurd amount of value to give to people, especially, I mean, the information in the videos has to be truly valuable. You have to actually be teaching them something and helping them accomplish something and solve a problem. But if you're doing that effectively, an online course is such a good way to get somebody's email, but it does take a lot of work, okay? That's definitely on the spectrum of like how much work these things take. Online courses definitely, it's gonna be number 2. There is one that requires even more time and effort than an online course, but we're gonna get into that in just a second. The next one is a script, okay? So as a social media manager, as somebody who runs an online business, there are a lot of things that people don't exactly, situations rather, that people don't really know how to approach. So like when you're a social media manager, you have to email prospective clients, okay? You have to reach out to people who you are trying to bring on board as clients. Now, how do you do that? How do you write an effective email that sort of captures people's attention and really gets them interested in potentially working with you as a client? Now, that is something that's very, very tricky, and not a lot of people really understand how to do that. So if I were to put a script together, if I was to put an email script, like, okay, this is how you reach out to people to get them as a social media management client and give that away as a lead magnet, that would be really powerful, right? Because people, that's a situation that not a lot of people know how to approach. And if you have situations like that you've learned throughout your business, throughout your time in whatever you do, these scripts can be really, really valuable because people value the convenience of just being able to like copy and paste a script and like fill in some blanks. Like that's a really, really valuable thing to provide. So like scripts, templates, all of that stuff, those are really valuable. And again, they don't just have to be like emails. You could do like a website template. You could do any kind of template, maybe like a template to set up your YouTube channel correctly or your Instagram correctly. Like all of these templates and just sort of like plug and play sort of systems are really, really valuable for people who value their time, because people are just looking for that instant gratification of like, okay, I can just do this and get this result. That's what people want. And currently I don't have any kind of scripts that I give away, but as far as courses go, I didn't even mention the ones that I have. So I have a free investing course, which will teach you sort of how to get your first $100 invested into index funds via your smartphone. So that's a course that I have been giving away for probably a little under a year, probably about 9 months now. I've had that course out. And then the next course that I created, mini course that I created for free, is this social media management course. Basically just teaches you what I do as a social media manager, how you can get started as well. So those are my 2 free courses that I give away. Next one, number 3, the number 3 lead magnet that you should be using is an ebook, okay? So personally, I have an ebook that I give away for free. It's called Starting an Online Business. It's basically just about how to monetize an Instagram account. Primarily an Instagram account can also be applied to YouTube channels, I guess Facebook pages. I don't know if people don't make money off Facebook pages just alone anymore. But Instagram accounts, YouTube channels, blogs, podcasts, all that good stuff. Basically just the steps that you need to take to monetize that through things like affiliate marketing, coaching, information products, all that good stuff. So I sat down for a solid day and a half, maybe just a day, but wrote this 34 page book on how to do this. And this was a project, okay? It probably wasn't as much work as the online course, but I would say I put in at least 6 hours of solid work into this ebook that I created and started giving people for free. Because the reason I created this was because a business partner of mine and I had created this Instagram account. We still have it. It's called Successful Founders. And a lot of people were just messaging us being like, hey, how do you make money on Instagram? How do you monetize an Instagram account? How do you grow an Instagram account? And I couldn't, the magnitude of messages that we were getting every single day, it was dozens and dozens. Some days we would get 100 messages. And just, I couldn't keep replying to those individually. So what I decided to do was I was like, all right, I can't reply to all these messages individually. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit down and grind out an ebook, which basically just outlines all of the questions that I was answering for these people in one concise, consolidated resource, so that they can just turn to that, get all their questions answered. And if they have any like advanced questions, ask me those, but I couldn't keep answering the exact same questions over and over. So basically what an ebook is, it's basically what it sounds like. It's just a PDF with an organized information. So it's basically a course if you would have just written the course instead of done it in front of a camera. So it's not very complicated. If you know a subject fairly well, you can easily write an ebook on it. And honestly, some of the ebooks that I see people giving away as lead magnets can really just be like 5 pages long. And it's really not about the length, it's about whether or not it solves a problem for somebody and how effectively it does that and how much information you can actually convey and provide in that ebook. So ebook, it's not that difficult to write. I'm a terrible writer, so for me, it was like pulling teeth. But if you're a good writer, I would highly recommend an ebook, probably over a course, just because it's easier to create, it's easier to host, and just all of these things make it a lot easier for you to do as a content creator. And it's still pretty easy to consume. Obviously, a course can probably be consumed a little bit more easily than an ebook, but either way, both of these are very, very good lead magnets, and I would highly recommend using either of these because they're just such high value, okay? If somebody's getting a free book from you for their email address, that's an insane, like they're winning on that, and you're winning on that too because you just had to create this thing one time, and it's getting you hundreds, if not thousands of email addresses, okay? Through my lead magnets, I've been able to build up an email list of over 2,000 people, probably about 2,500 people, just through giving people stuff for free, okay? And I don't have a large following either, okay? Like, relatively speaking, my following is not as big as some of these other guys who aren't taking the time to build an email list because they don't see the value in it, but there's just so much value to be had here. And if you can put, honestly, I have a lot of lead magnets, okay? You don't need a lot of lead magnets, okay? You do not need to put together, I think I have like 5 lead magnets, okay? You don't need that. You can put together one really high quality lead magnet that you spend a day working on. You spend a Saturday just creating this lead magnet. You have it, it'll work for you for over a year. Like, it can work for you for years. And you just set this thing up, you put it on a landing page. We can make a whole video about how to do that, how to actually like set this thing up so that it starts collecting email addresses. But you just set the thing up on a page, you just put it there, you give people the link here and there, eventually maybe put it in your YouTube descriptions or link it up in your blog post or put it in the show notes of your podcast or whatever. You just promote this to people, people will just keep streaming through, you'll just keep building your email address, email list, you'll keep marketing to that email list, and it just sort of, it builds on itself and it works for you in the background, okay? This is just passively building your email list without you having to do much of anything. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling now and we're just gonna get into it because the last one, it's so valuable and I want you guys to stick around for it, but I'm gonna blast through the next 2 and we're gonna get to number 6 and it's gonna be really, really, really valuable, and that's the one that I see people having so much success with, okay? So number 4 is a free Skype call, okay? And this was really brought to my attention by a guy named Ryan Scribner. He got on a free Skype call with a bunch of his subscribers, probably like a year ago now, and that's really what spurred me into starting my own YouTube channel. But if you really want to make that connection, if you really want to build that following and build that connection with your viewers, a free Skype call is insanely valuable. Like, you could even limit it to like 15 minutes. You could say, book a free 15-minute Skype call, set up a Calendly account for free, and just get that rolling. But that can be such a valuable way to build a deep connection. But this is what I was saying about the sort of most time-intensive one, because you can't really scale this. You need to sit down for 15 minutes with each of these people, and that's not something you can automate. So this one's gonna be a lot more work than the other ones, but it's definitely the most impactful, and his Skype call with me like really impacted me and really got me to start my own YouTube channel. So that was huge, but that can be really impactful. But again, you don't have to do a free Skype call with everybody. That's just one option for your lead magnet. Number 5 is to do a quiz, okay? So if you guys aren't familiar with BuzzFeed, they sort of popularized this whole internet quiz thing, but what you can actually do is you can create an online quiz that'll basically tell people, you can say like, should you be a social media manager quiz, okay? And I could send that to people, or like, is social media management a good choice for you? And then people fill out this quiz, and then at the end, I'll be like, if you want the answer, drop in your email. Like, that's a bad example, but like doing something like that where they take the time to fill out this whole like 5-minute quiz where they're just like clicking on these answers, blah, blah, blah. They get to the end, and if they want the answer, they have to put in their email. So that's like, they've already invested all of this time, and now you're just asking them for their email, and they're like, well, I already invested 5 minutes into this quiz, might as well drop my email so I can get that answer. So that's a good way to do it as well. I haven't tried out that either, but I know it has been successful for a lot of people out there trying to build their email list, so I thought I would include it on this list. The last one, and this one is the most valuable, this is the one that I see people having the most success with, but it is pretty time intensive, and that's to do what I like to call +1 content, okay? So +1 content, basically what that means to me is, if I had this video that you're watching right now about creating an effective lead magnet, an example of +1 content would be if I created a lead magnet checklist, okay? I had a 10-step checklist of like, these are the 10 things that your lead magnet should include. If you want this checklist, drop your email below and you can download that. So that would be an example of +1 content, because what it does is it builds off of the content that you're putting out in order to sort of allow people to go deeper with it. So I see a lot of people doing this with their content. I know Sunny Leonard Doozy does this a lot. I can't remember any other people that do it off the top of my head. I think Pat Flynn's pretty good at this as well. But basically it doesn't have to be with each of your videos, but maybe you pick like your most popular videos, and what you do is you decide to make a sort of like checklist, or you use one of these things that we talked about already, like a script or something, to just go one step further with people on that same topic. Okay, so I made a video a couple days ago on the top 4 resources for people when it comes to being a social media manager. So what I could do is I could then create sort of a social media manager script, or a social media manager whatever, that sort of like builds off of the stuff we talked about in that video in order to allow people to go deeper. So that's basically what +1 content is. Again, it's kind of time intensive if you're gonna make one of these for all of your videos, all of your blog posts, all of your whatever. But they can be really, really effective, and people really appreciate that when they can take that one step further and really build off the information that they learned in your video, podcast, blog, whatever. So those were the top 5, actually 6 lead magnets that I see being very, very effective for people trying to build their email list. Again, I am trying to build my email list, and I know a lot of you guys are as well. It's a topic that I get a lot of questions about, so I thought I would cover this in this video. But just to recap again, first one is an online course. Next is a script, so maybe a script, a template, something like that, where people can just plug and play and do whatever they are trying to solve, whatever problem they're trying to solve. Next one is an ebook, or sort of like a guide in order to walk people through via text what problem you're trying to solve for them. The next one is a free Skype call. Again, this one isn't very scalable, but it's very, very effective at going deep. The next one is a quiz where people sort of input all their answers, and then at the end, if they want their results, they have to put in their email. And then the last one is +1 content, where you're sort of building off of the content that you're already putting out for free with a sort of email freebie that people can put their email in and get as that lead magnet. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around. If you enjoyed the video, do consider subscribing and dropping a like down below. And if you want to learn more about being a social media manager, I've got that free training in the description below as well. That is my lead magnet to you, if you guys do want to check that out. If not, no worries. I will see you in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've got a free video training in the description below on how to start your own social media management agency. Check it out.